Really quick, we mentioned Cooper Flagg earlier. I'm gonna forget if we don't bring it up right now. What do you think he projects to in the NBA? What kind of player would he be? Do you have a player comparison or anything?
I do, and people are gonna get mad at this. People are gonna get mad at this, but they need to do their research and do their homework, okay? And I do think Cooper has a little bit more offensive ability because I see him and I see like Gordon Hayward-esque. And no, I'm not saying that just because he's a white small forward. I just legitimately see that part of his game. But he reminds me of Kirilenko. He reminds me of prime Kirilenko. Cooper Flagg does, and here's why. One, people forget Kirilenko in his prime was an all-star.
A great defensive player. So defensively, I don't think people are going to get mad about that at all.
Cooper dominates the game in an untraditional way. He's not a guy you throw it to and he's just scoring 40, like a scoring machine. He's not a Paul George, Brandon Miller type, bag work, crossover, behind the back. Again, he has some stuff. Cooper dominates the game by playing hard and he's just a hooper. Cooper the Hooper. I had to, I'm sorry. He gets, first off, defensively, always blocking shots.
Great instincts, great defense.
Always around the glass.
Yeah.
Bro, this guy gets like 10 points a game in high school just from tipping the ball in around the rim. Has a great feel for where the ball is going to be. Always catching lobs, gets his hands on deflections, long, athletic. Again, I can't harp enough on the block shots. This guy patch shit all game. And he does that at every level of high school. EYBL, Nike tournament, Mount Vert. He's always leading tournaments and blocks, rebounds, deflections. He's always around the rim.
Yeah.
Has a nice little mid-range, good little spot three, needs work, but he's getting better. And he's just like a talented hooper who just affects winning. Like, bro, you're going to see him at Duke next year. He's going to average like 17, 18, which, people don't understand how hard that is in college. 15 points in college is like 20 in the NBA because the game's just slower. It's a 35-second shot clock.
Right.
The way the game's played, it's just different. Obviously, less time as well. So, there's a lot of variables there, but that's who Cooper, when I see Cooper, I see the arc of him becoming a much better offensive player and like score in terms of a guy who can like do it. But like he has this Kirilenko-ish, Jimmy Butler-ish, like he just affects the game in these other little ways. I see a lot of Kirilenko in him. When I say this, people are like, what, Kirilenko? I was like, bro, y'all need to do your homework on Kirilenko, man. In Kirilenko's prime, he was a hell of a defender, and he just did all the little stuff, and he had still in that stat sheet, you look, and he had like 18.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's Cooper Flagg does. You know what I mean? Like, Cooper Flagg's not averaging 30 right now. You know what I mean? But he just dominated. I coached against him in the NBPA camp this past summer. Mm-hmm. He was the best player in the camp. Second was VJ Edgecombe. Those are two best players by far. And then I'll put Boozer's son in there. Cameron?
Yeah.
Cameron, Cooper, and VJ were like here, and then there's a ginormous gap between those three and everybody else. And Cooper was by far the best player there, in my opinion. And he has Kirilenko in him, I think. He could be better because offensively, I think he has a little bit of shit to him. So I'm not trying to hold him down on the offensive side. I'm just telling you the things he does now are things you can't really teach. He has like a motor and a competitive spirit about him, a little edge to him that he plays with every game. He's always yelling and screaming and blocking shots and talk like that. He has that type of feel. It reminds me of Andrei Kirilenko.
So I actually saw Montverde play last year, and what I noticed is he was playing the right way. Like, he made the right pass every time. He wasn't forcing bad shots. He was doing everything right. So I think I agree with what you're saying as far as next year he might average 16 or 17, but Duke might win a national title because he's going to do these other things.
That's what I'm saying,
so it might look like, he averaged 15 or 16, but I think the team will just be a lot better because he's going to be out there.
Again, my freshman year, bro, I'm doing ISO. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coming down. A lot of our plays are pick and roll. I'm coming off, switch, step back. I had to work really hard to get those 16, 17.
Yeah.
Cooper Flagg gets 16, 17 just by being around the rim and running the floor.
Right.
And then he'll get like a little mid-range, and then we're not even counting when he's hot and he's like in his bag a little bit.
Kind of reminds me of how like Chandler back in the day would get his 16 or 17 just
like
catching in just straight line into the rim for a dunk. Yeah, straight line drive. Yeah.
You got a good shot, but your teammate has a better one. He don't even think. Yeah. Cooper just makes the right play.
Right.
Like, even at the NBPA camp, bro, he could have dominated. Like, there's NBA scouts there. If he really wanted to be like Cooper, like, come down. Someone had to go and he just throw it, go space. Like, he just played. Every scout came in there like, because I remember I was sitting there with all the NBA scouts. We're just watching him play. And the best thing they took from him was like, he plays winning basketball.
Yeah.
That just shows you, like, these kids who are out there like putting these. they don't give a damn about how many numbers you score.
Well, that's the benefit too of playing on a stacked team. Like Montverde is stacked this year, is that he's already learning how to play with really good players. So it's not going to be this shock.
That's
something that happened with you, for example, at Winter Park. You were the man. Let's just call it what it is. You're number one player in the nation, everything like that. It would have been a little different, let's say, if you were at Montverde or something like that, or IMG, playing with a bunch of other good players, because then you would have already, when you got to the NBA, learn how to play with guys when you're not maybe the best player on the court.
Yeah.
But every time you stepped on the basketball court before, you were the best player on the court.
100%. That's part of the sell of what these prep schools tell these kids. They're like, they tell their parents, like, listen, your kid might average 7-8 less points per game here, but when he goes to college or, God willing, the NBA, he's going to have an easier transition in terms of just fitting in, because here he's going to play with 3 or 4 other guys who might also go to the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Montverde spits out 2 or 3 pros every other year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's been good to see him just develop, and it's nice to see a top-ranked player be a guy that's game is not solely predicated on scoring and putting up, crazy numbers or crazy highlights like the history has. You know what I mean? Cooper just plays the right way and affects the game just through playing hard and just like dominating, playing good basketball. He is one of the rare purities that we see in like a game that has a lot of flaw in it today.